You tell a story. He does too. Can he one-up you? Well, that's up to you. Tell your best tale and you never know. You could be a winner on the One-Upper Show.
Okay, and welcome back to the One-Upper. I'm your host, Ted Blazak. We're at the Farmers Market in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, on a lovely June Wednesday, and another brave guest has decided to come on to the show. And what's your name?
My name is Mara Shepard.
I'm sorry?
Mara.
Mara. Okay,
Yeah.
Lovely name, Mara.
Yeah.
And where are you from?
I'm originally from California, but now I live in Washington, D.C.
Oh, Washington, D.C. Okay,
Yeah.
I lived in D.C. for 5 years.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I went to AU.
Oh, I'm getting my master's degree from AU.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah, and I'm undergrad alum.
Yeah, you're undergrad?
Well, I went to AU for undergrad, and I finished, and now I'm doing my master's at the same school. So
Yeah, right.
I'm
Yeah.
undergrad alum, and I'm getting my master's at AU currently.
Go Eagles.
Yeah, go Eagles.
What's your what's your major?
I'm getting my master's in media technology and democracy, so I specialize
Oh.
in AI ethics, and I really want to get my PhD in data analytics.
Oh, wonderful. Did you do SBA and ward building, ward circle?
I'm in SOC, School of Communications.
Okay. So is that still in Mary Graydon Center?
No, the Mary Graydon Center is now just for students. And they have a radio station for the kids in Mary Graydon Center, but we're in the building next door, the McKinley building.
Oh, my God. Okay, it's only been like 4 decades since I've been on it. Or no, 3 since I've been on campus. But, oh, my God, that's so
Yeah,
awesome.
that's so
All
cool.
right, woo, go Eagles.
Go Eagles.
All right. So, okay. So,
I highly recommend my university.
Yeah, it's a great place.
Eye contact with Sage.
Oh. So I hear you got a good story. I have no idea what it is, but lay it on us.
Okay, so this happened in 2019,
Yeah.
and at the time I was in community college because I transferred from community college to AU.
Good for you.
And I was doing a study abroad program in Germany.
Oh.
And after that study abroad program was done, I decided to hitchhike across Poland for a week.
You're kidding.
Without a working cell phone, which becomes crucial later.
Oh.
No cell service, no SIM card for Poland.
Well, time out.
This isn't the story. This is a precursor. This is
This
setup
is
for
a
the
precursor?
story. Yeah, this isn't the story.
This isn't this.
You can
There's
ask
a lot of
question.
precursors
You can ask a
going
question
on.
if you want. No,
Well,
that's just
were
the
you
setup.
hitchhiking by yourself?
Yeah.
Okay, you're crazy. All right.
I was 21. You know how it goes.
Yeah, I know how it goes, but all right. So
I
anyway,
wanted to see Poland.
That's
and
good.
so then I was flying out of Poland, and I had a connection in Lisbon, and then I was
Uh-huh.
supposed to fly from Lisbon to D.C. So
Uh-huh.
that was kind of my flight pattern.
Yeah.
And so I woke up at 4:30 a.m. in Poland,
Uh-huh.
didn't eat breakfast, got on my plane,
Uh-huh.
accidentally packed all my credit cards and money into my checked bag.
no.
Didn't have a working
Oh.
cell phone, and I was like, it's fine.
Oh.
I have my transfer in Lisbon. I'll be on the plane. I'll be in
Yeah.
America. It's okay.
Yeah, but
And-
you've got no spending cash.
No spending cash.
Yeah.
And so I was like, that's a little iffy, but they have
Yeah.
meals on the plane, you know?
Yeah. Okay. All right.
This is
That
this is
stinks,
this precursor to the story where I didn't eat for 48 hours.
though. Oh my goodness.
So I get to my flight. I get on my second flight successfully, and I'm really excited for dinner service.
Yeah.
Right before they announce dinner service, an hour over the Atlantic Ocean, we get an announcement from the captain, and they say we're going to have to turn this plane around.
Oh no.
They say we're having technical issues, and we're not going to be able to land the plane in America if we keep going, so we're going to have to turn around and land in Lisbon again.
Oh, that's so scary.
It turns out the hydraulics failed, which
Oh.
control the landing gears and the flaps on the wings.
But why are they going to work better in Lisbon
Because
than
they're
in...
worried about it degrading because our flight's 8 hours. So if we're 8 hours with that
Oh.
problem versus an hour there and an hour back with the problem, they're just going to circle around and land us back where we started, essentially.
Okay, sounds extremely scary.
So we all get into the crash positions when we
Yeah.
get back to the airport. You
Yeah,
know, that like
yeah,
just
yeah,
like
yeah,
on the
yeah,
little pamphlet.
yeah.
Never had to do that before.
Oh my God! I would've been
we come in
terrified.
really hot.
Wait. Did she at least get your meal?
No, see, that's what happened. We turn around. I'm waiting, and we turn around right before dinner service, and I hadn't eaten breakfast or lunch because I skipped lunch to be on the plane because I didn't have cards.
Yeah.
So I was really excited for
Yeah.
that airplane food, and I didn't even get that.
Yeah.
So we land back in Lisbon, and we have this really annoying flight, like off-duty flight attendant girl who kept
Yeah.
being like, "This isn't emergency landing. We didn't deploy the slides." Meanwhile, we're all like in that crash position. I'm like,
Yeah.
we had to brace ourselves. We're off the runway. We ran onto the lawn.
Wait, so this is like the ticket agent?
No, she's like an off-duty airline attendant who's also like sitting in our row, and she kept being like, "Everyone, calm down. I'm an airline attendant, but we're not crashing, even though we were
helper. Oh, I see.
Self-appointed. We're not doing anything dramatic when we're literally off the runway at this point in the lawn.
Yeah.
So we have all the emergency vehicles come out. You know, they bring the stairs out so we can deplane,
Uh-huh.
and we deplane, and I don't speak Portuguese, obviously, and we have no idea what's going on. We're just getting like herded off the plane.
Yeah.
And so they have all the cops there, and they round us up and they detain us because apparently we all had our passports stamped to leave Europe because we were planning on being back in America, and now we're counted as illegal aliens. So we all the whole plane of people gets detained, except for the pilot and flight attendants. They get to go off and live their best lives.
They don't just wait. Do they have someone from customs come out to the field or get you on a bus, take you somewhere comfortable?
A ton of cop cars, no bus. They shuttled us onto these shuttles. We were packed like sardines. Men, women, children, no bathrooms. We sat on the tarmac for 2 hours in shuttles. 2 hours because they didn't know where to put us. And we could not move. You were sitting side by side, and people were standing.
Oh, that's so. Oh my God.
No food. At this point, it's like 10 p.m. I hadn't eaten since 4:30 a.m.
Oh.
When I got up, and I was like, okay, I'm just like, we're gonna get through this. I'll be fine. I'll be back on the next plane.
Yeah.
Well, the Lisbon airport, you know, they close because they have, you know, not the American work ethic. They like to go home and sleep. So all the airport employees went home.
They're like, quitting time.
Yeah.
Good luck, foreigners.
That's
come back and visit us.
Exactly what happened.
Oh my gosh! Did you actually like see the staff like leave the airport?
Yeah, they were just like walking away. They turned off all the lights. There was no lights in the airport. The food court was closed. There was no. So and then they got these walls and they penned us in. You know, with the guards.
There's a guard
with all the cops because we were illegal immigrants. So they like penned up. They built us like a cattle pen.
What do you think you're gonna do?
And we all had to be no food or water, no vending machine in this closed airport. If you went to the bathroom, you had to be accompanied by a cop.
You're kidding.
They didn't let us pee in peace. And
great line.
Keep in mind, I don't have a working cell phone. I don't speak Portuguese, and I have no money. And our bags, they did not give us our bags back. So I don't have any of my luggage, toiletries, clothes. I am just with my backpack and what I was wearing.
Oh, this is horrible.
I mean, it's a good. I was 21. I was fine.
Oh, yeah.
But
it's pretty bad
after
travel.
it was like midnight at this point, and everyone was just standing around, and they started handing out water bottles. And then there was one I guess airline employee that stayed behind, but someone went behind the little where they have the intercom so you can talk to us, make announcements.
Yeah.
And so they made an announcement to our little pen, and they were like, okay, if you originated in Portugal, in Lisbon, if this was not a connecting flight, good luck to you. We are not going to give you a hotel. We can stamp your passport so you can come back into the country legally, and then you're out on the street at 1 a.m. That's your deal.
This is...
I know, it was bad. People ended up getting all their money back for this flight. Except for me, for some reason. I didn't have the energy to sue them, so it was whatever. But I paid $550 for this premium experience.
What? How much did you pay?
$550.
$550
This is what you get for bargains. For one way from Europe to America. This is the bargain.
What
this
airline?
is the problem.
What airline?
TAP. Do not fly Air
TAP.
Portugal.
TAP.
TAP.
Air Portugal.
Yeah.
Air Portugal.
Do not fly Air Portugal.
This
I will
is
go to the
negative
grave.
Advertising
This is negative.
for Air
I will
Portugal.
specifically call this airline out and nobody fly them. I know it's the cheapest. That's the reason. This isn't the first time they've had problems.
And you were, this was a semester abroad program?
It was a summer abroad. So
Summer
this
abroad.
was summer 2019.
But-
And I have photo evidence. I can back all of this up.
Okay. Oh, I believe you. I believe you. In fact, actually, you should email us some. We'll put them up on our webpage.
Okay, I'll email you.
Okay, but you were returning back to college, is that right?
Yes, I was returning back to D.C.
You were going to National?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Okay.
All right, and so...
That's important because I'm going to one-up you.
Okay.
Yeah?
Well, the story's not done. So they said, if you originate there, good luck. We're going to stamp you back. They said if you didn't originate there, if like me, if you had a connecting flight, we will compensate you and give you a free hotel room for the night. So then you can return to the airport in the morning. So then a small riot broke out because everyone who didn't have that accommodation didn't think it was fair, and everyone stampeded the front desk to try and get these tickets.
But
vouchers.
you're on the lucky side that had
I'm
a
on
voucher.
the lucky side.
Yeah, okay.
But it was still 1 a.m. and there was nothing open. So I didn't get food.
Yeah.
But I had a place to sleep, which was very fortunate. They shuttled us there. It took us about 2 hours to get out of customs because they didn't have anyone open to stamp our passports with one guy. So it was like 2 a.m. We got to the airport. The only thing open was McDonald's. I'm a vegetarian and I've never had McDonald's before, and it was my first time ever.
Oh, what did you order?
I got fries. They were bad, and I didn't finish them after all that.
The animal fat in the...
Well, it's Portugal. I checked. They don't have the animal fat in Portugal. They do the vegetable oil.
Oh, but it was still not...
No, they were bad.
Okay.
So I sleep, I just sleep naked.
By the way, I have a friend who's a vegetarian.
Yeah.
He used to go to McDonald's and order a Big Mac with no meat.
So just like lettuce in a bun?
And tomatoes.
Your friend has terrible taste. I'm sorry.
This is what she did?
I just don't eat fast food. Yeah. Extra iceberg.
Yeah.
I love crunchy water.
Yeah, right. Well, okay. So anyway.
I have bread at home. I can do that.
But you got some French fries, and then you're finally about to go home?
Oh, well, okay. So on the way to the airport, or to the hotel, I try and find other Americans because I was traveling by myself I don't have cell phone or anything to let my folks at home know where I am or what's happened.
Oh,
so at this point, no one's heard from me, and I was supposed to have landed hours ago.
They're worried.
So, yeah. So
Is one of them here?
My stepmom's here, but she wasn't picking me up, so she didn't know until we were just talking about the story.
All right.
Oh,
so, but you
right
you can tell this is true. This is a real story, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. And people were worried about her.
Yes.
Yeah. No. That's the worst part of it.
Well, she wasn't picking me up. My birth mother was picking me up.
Okay.
So she was more worried because Michelle, my stepmom, didn't know, but at the time, but she heard the story.
It's a true story. And people were worried.
Yeah, and so I met up. There were 3 other Americans. So us 4 were like, we're gonna stick together. We're gonna be a little pod.
Yeah.
And we started like a little group chat, and everyone they let me use their phone. It was great.
Oh, that's awesome. So you got to call home.
Yeah. Well, I was able to WhatsApp over Wi-Fi, but that was good enough.
You got it. All right.
So then the next day they shuttled us back, and they were like, "Oh, so sorry for the inconvenience. The next flight you can get on isn't until 4 p.m.
Oh.
So you just have to hang out in the airport until then, because you're not allowed to leave because of all the whatever the weird stuff that was going on." And so they gave us vouchers for the food court, 10 euros each. Not a lot of money for airport food if you know how much airport food costs.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So we decided instead of eating with those vouchers that the 4 of us were going to combine our vouchers because we heard Portuguese wine was great, and so we just bought 2 bottles of Portuguese wine from like the grab and go, and we got blackout. None of us had eaten, so we got like blackout drunk at the gate.
Okay.
On Portuguese wine.
Okay. This is a part of the story of self-inflicted damage.
Oh yeah,
here.
it gets worse.
This
is where it takes a dive.
Decision.
Well, I was 21.
No, I'm glad because when I one up you, I'm going to point to this part of your story.
Okay.
All right.
So then I somehow got on the plane. I have no memory of that, but like I'm on the plane.
Because you were that drunk.
And I fall asleep. Yeah, I mean I hadn't eaten at that point in like 30 hours, and I was empty stomach. Drank half a bottle of wine, and I fell asleep on the plane, and I slept through dinner service, and I slept through the breakfast service. And I landed in America, and I hadn't eaten since 2 days before in Poland.
Oh, my God. So you went without eating for 48 hours, crossing several borders, being detained.
Yeah.
But you did get plenty of wine in you.
But when I landed, I was staying with a friend for one night. I was supposed to stay with them for 3 nights before I was picked up, but I was staying at a friend's place.
Uh-huh.
And I came in later than expected on a different day than expected, and we had no food prepared, and he had to work. So I actually didn't eat that night either. I just slept on his couch because I got in at like midnight.
Oh, you poor child.
And couldn't pick up any food. And so I didn't eat till the day after that. That's it. That's my travel story.
That's a great.
That's the last time I was on. No, that's not. Yeah, that's the last time I flew internationally.
Oh, really?
No, second to last time.
When was this again? What
2019,
year?
The summer of 2019.
Okay, so that was only like 4 years ago.
Yeah, this was like my last post. This was what I had to live with. Thinking back on my memories during COVID. This is what I had to think about.
Wow. Okay.
Was this travel story?
That's really cool. Okay, so I so love your story.
Yeah.
Especially because we're both AU Eagles.
Yeah, he's AU 11
Yeah, I
too.
went to AU. Yeah. And because I have such a comparable story.
Oh boy. Okay, let's see. This is good.
And actually, I'm going to say like your story's pretty horrible. That's a
I can tell you're going to say you have a worse one.
Yeah. But I'm also going to say they're neck and neck. Okay. But the reason, and you're still going to get a T-shirt.
Okay.
But the reason why I think I'm going to win on the one-upper is I didn't do self-inflicted damage. I was a complete victim. Okay.
Being a victim of your own mind is a real thing.
Yes, but I have circumstances.
Okay, well, tell me your circumstances.
There might be 1 point in time. This might wind up being a draw.
Vote online.
Send in those comments.
I'm cute.
Yeah, I'm old. So in fact, there's the immediate connection. What graduating class were you?
I was 20. What year is it? 2023. I was 2022.
22. I was 90. Okay.
I wasn't born yet.
I know. I can do math. I went to the same school as you. But were you in the Khashoggi Center? No, did they rename that?
No, they did, but we know it's the Khashoggi Center.
Right. Yeah, because he's an arms dealer and
it's still colloquially known as the Khashoggi Center.
Yeah, okay, right. Yeah. Well, they had just completed that 2 years before. We were the second class to graduate in it. It was great. It was a great graduation ceremony. But anyway, this story is it's the midway through my sophomore year, and I go home for Thanksgiving, and my dad says, "I'm going to let you drive the family car down to D.C. Okay, and then I'm going down there a couple months later, and I'm going to pick it up and drive it back because he has to go there for work." He worked for the railroad. And he says, "Don't screw this up."
Famous last words.
Right, yeah. You know where it's going right away.
I know where it's going.
So
this sounds like it's going to be self-inflicted. I'm sorry. Mine was a plane. I couldn't fly that.
All right, let me get through it. Okay. So anyway, it's driving back, and it's raining, and I've just made it through New York, and I'm on the George Washington Bridge coming out, and it's raining, and there's a car, and it stops short in front of me on the bridge, and I slam on the brakes, and I hydroplane, and I hit that car right in the rear end. And this was my grandfather's car that my stepmother just inherited 3 years ago, and everyone loved this car. And so smack crash, and it's a couple from Hong Kong that doesn't speak English, but they know how to call the police. And so they came quickly, and because it doesn't matter, I rear-ended.
Yeah.
I'm at response. So
fault?
I'm at fault. Mm-hmm. I'm at fault. And I know this, and I'm in a horrible mood. And the cops give me a ticket, and I'm standing beside my car waiting for the tow truck, and people are just slowing down and gawking at me, and I'm, hate you people, So anyway, they tow me to this junkyard where a tow company also operates out of. And the owner gets my father on the phone, says, "Your car's trashed. You owe me $500 for the tow. I'll keep your car. We'll call it even." And my dad agrees because he's in no position to do otherwise. Yeah. And the car was surely worth more than the cost of that tow.
That's why he offered.
Yeah. Now, my dad's a great guy. He didn't scream or yell at me. He was actually a little concerned and terribly disappointed, and there was going to be a conversation, But so anyway, in this car, I have just cardboard boxes, half filled, pillows, case sacks filled with my possessions, because I think I'm just taking my car to my group house, and I'm just going to unload this loose stuff.
I also live in a group house.
Right, yeah.
I feel you.
Yeah, by Westmoreland Circle. Yeah. So anyway, I got beakers. I've got a globe. I've got a lot of books. Yeah. I got tapestries. I got all the hip college things of the late 80s.
Yeah.
So anyway, the guy at the tow truck company calls a cab for me, and the advice is given that I should go to Grand Central Station and catch a bus or a train from there to D.C. And I'm like, great, and I borrow the guy's phone, and I call my good friends in college, my roommates and friends, and say, hey, can you guys pick me up? I'm coming in tonight, not exactly sure, blah, blah, blah. So I set up my ride, blah, blah, blah. So all I got to do is get home, get to the bus station, and get on it. I've got cash. I can buy my ticket. So this cab pulls up, and I swear to God, this man literally looks like Gollum. He's got the palest skin, and this is in the 80s, and I'm not familiar with, like, the drug scene or whatever. Okay, but this guy, like, junkie, you know.
This sounds good. If you get in his cab, that's self-inflicted.
Well, but I don't.
I'm sorry.
All right, that's 2 points for her now. All right, I'm glad you're keeping track. All right.
I am.
So, anyway. So,
oh, there you are.
Damn, I'm going to lose now.
Yep.
You're right. Anyway, so I get in the cab, and I stuff all my stuff in the trunk, and blah, 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 blah. And I say I'm going to Grand Central Station, and he says, you got to give me $15 because I'm not going that far unless I get some cash. And I'm like, okay, here you go.
0.3 for me.
Yeah. So anyway, so we drive for about 15 minutes, and then all of a sudden we're in a very, really shaky neighborhood. You know, there's like broken down buildings and big boulevards with no one on them, you know, and it's the middle of the day. And the guy says, okay, you got to get out here. And I'm like, what are you talking about? He says, you got to go, man. You just got to go. And I'm like, I go, what are you talking about? It's like, well, this is as far as I can go, and another cab's coming along. Another cab's coming. Get out. Come on, man. And he starts, like, unloading my shit on the corner.
He's got your cash. He's like, I have somewhere to spend this.
Yeah, this is exactly the neighborhood where he's going to get his fix.
Yeah.
You know. So anywho, so he disappears, and admittedly, I'm young and extremely stupid. In fact, I even become more stupid in this story.
Okay, this sounds like more self-infliction is coming along.
I lost.
Mine had one. Damn. I drank some wine. Sue me.
Oh, God, you're right. All right, my self-infliction is stupidity for sure. But I like to blame it on the mishaps of youth.
Mine was a calculated decision, and I don't regret it.
No, I'm so lost. That was the point that did it. All right, so anyway.
So how do you get out of it?
Well, all right, so I'm just standing and I'm waving and I'm trying to wave down, and a rare cab comes by after 15 minutes. They pass me, and then I remember a trick my grandfather told me from Poland, where he's immigrated from. Yes.
Same with my mom immigrated from Poland.
Oh, right on. God damn, this is great. So he told me that in Poland, when he really needed a ride, he held up a pack of cigarettes.
Yeah, I can attest to that.
This is a great episode. I love this episode. So shout
out, Mom.
Yeah, right. So I waved a $20 bill in the air, and a cab stopped, and then we loaded it all with my stuff, and I gave him the 20 right away, and then I paid the full fare when we got to Grand Central Station. Now, Grand Central Station, especially in 1988, is a very nasty place. And it doesn't have a nice entrance. Mm-hmm. It has multiple entrances where you can pull up, get out, and it has these big down-descending escalators. At least most of the entrances.
I don't think it's gotten much better, to be honest.
Really? Yeah. So I start pulling things out of the taxi, and there's literally a cauldron of homeless people as you enter the escalator, like about 10 on either side, and they're just sitting there begging, and they're looking at me, you know, and I'm like, oh shit. And so I just
hauling all your stuff
after box, pillowcase, loose stuff. There's no way I can carry this. That's a lot of escalator, you know, right? But I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm just going to depend upon the kindness of New Yorkers.
Oh.
And so
famous last words.
So I picked up like my most important duffel bag of clothes and a couple of key boxes, and I started walking. Actually, one box was.
So you left the rest behind?
Yeah, but that what happened next is I trip and I fall, and my box goes open and it spreads out, and these people just swarm and they start grabbing all my stuff, including the stuff that I have behind. And I'm literally struggling. My duffel bag, my textbook, and I'm getting just the most basic of this. And I literally had like a little box in the duffel bag left. And the rest of the stuff was like room decorations anyway. And
not too bad.
No. But I'm quite distraught. And I go down the long escalator. I go to the ticket agent, and I'm just really upset. And first, I'm under the information that there's a bus about to leave for DC in an hour. And I'm like, I just got to get on that bus. Blah blah blah. He's like, oh yeah, that's sold out. I'm like, no man, you don't understand. I really got to get on that bus. It's been a really tough day, man. And I should note I'm wearing a big tie-dye, and I have long hair because I'm a big deadhead.
Yeah. Everyone was.
Right, yeah. And he just smiles and says, okay, look, the next bus comes 8 hours later, and if I were you, I'd go stand by that gate over there by it. And interesting enough, and I did that, and interesting enough, there was already a line at that gate. Like everybody, I don't know why. The bus isn't coming for hours, but we're all going to stand in line for hours.
Maybe there's someone who could one-up your story who was in that line.
Yeah. I wish I had the show then. This might not have happened. So I'm in line, and now I realize after the fact the reason why we were in line was for safety.
Oh,
because it's such a sketchy place. And I didn't realize that because I'm still a stupid hippie. So this kid comes up to me.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And he sees my big tie-dye. And he goes, so you like the Grateful Dead? I go, yeah, man. You like the Dead, too? Cool. Let's talk. Where are you going to shows? Blah, blah, blah. And, he really doesn't know anything. But he says, yeah, you know about the big concert next week in Madison Square Garden. So you go, yeah, man, God, I wish I had tickets for that, man. And he goes, oh, I got tickets.
Of course he does.
Yeah. And I go, really? And he goes, yeah. And I say, and he goes, give me $40. I'll go around the corner to my friend Ralph, and I'll get you your tickets and I'll come right back. I go, oh, thank you, man. You're so cool. So I give him the money, and then he goes away.
Self-inflicted.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, but
he's keeping track.
And remember, we're both going to the same destination.
Yeah.
For the same reason.
Yeah.
It's time to go to school.
Both Polish backgrounds.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, this is great episode. So anyway, he goes off, and I'm smiling, and there's this woman standing in line before me, and she's a taller, older woman, and she just looks at me. She makes eye contact, and she just shakes her head.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, I'm like, oh my God, I'm such an idiot. And so I start to chase him. Yes. And Grand Central Station, that basement.
What was your plan if you caught him?
I still haven't thought of that. And it's been 3.5 decades. In fact, I've never even asked myself that question until now, actually.
What was your plan?
I had no idea. It was a really bad day. So anyway, then I chased him.
Yeah.
And I start yelling, and it's like a labyrinth. It's like a dungeon almost. It's underground. And I'm like, thief, stop him, thief. And like people are like, oh wow, look at that. That guy's a thief, But like somebody like actually gets the cops, and they say, I called the cops, blah blah blah. And I'm like, great. And I'm staying. I'm afraid of the guy too.
Yeah.
So I'm staying 30 feet away, but there you are. I see you.
Yeah.
Right? So and I go around, and then all of a sudden he turns around this corner, and I turn around this corner, and there's 3 of his friends.
Of course there are.
Yeah. And one of them pulls out a knife, holds it up to me, and says, we got a problem? And I was like, no, we don't. And I just went back with a head full of shame and exhaustion, and I got in line, and I waited 6 hours just staring at my feet, thinking about what a fool I was. You're right, this is self-inflicted.
Yeah, I was going to say, I didn't feel any shame about, not being able to get on my flight. And,
yeah. Okay,
I was just trying to, mitigate the pain of being such a big victim, but you...
Okay. Wow, they teach you well at that school now. We didn't come out that sharp then. So anywho, but so I get on the Greyhound bus, and it's packed solid, and there's a seat way on the back, and there's this guy already sitting there, and I sit down, and I just let out a big sigh that, thank God, this is it. And I close my eyes for about 15 minutes, then I kind of hit a bump, and I open them, and I turn to the left, and there's the man with his pornography performing his acts, and
wouldn't be a bus experience without it.
Greyhound, and I just sighed and shifted my body inside to the aisle lane, and then when the Greyhound bus pulled up by RFK Stadium, I got out, and three of my very dear friends, and we're still very close friends, came running out of their car. Aww. And they were some of my best friends, and they came out and they hugged me, and I was crying. I'm so happy to see you guys. And it was like, and I called it, and I've always referred to this story as the worst day of my year, and I knew that for the rest of the year nothing bad was going to happen, because I was happy. In fact, for the next year too. So, all right, these are two great. We went back to AU stories. Yeah, these are really good.
Both traveling to the same.
Yeah. And as you've pointed out, mine's self-inflicted. So we're going to say you are today's winner. Congratulations. So now, if you can top our story, if you've had such a hard time getting back to school, we want to hear it. So please send us your story. You can send us an audio link, a video, or type it up, and we'll get it on the air at the oneupper.show@gmail.com. You can find us at theoneuppershow.com, and pretty much wherever you hear your podcast, and YouTube as well. So we hope to hear from you. Send us your story. Share our social media links, Facebook and Instagram, with your friends. And everyone has a good story, and that's why we're here, to celebrate it. So keep those good stories coming until we meet again.
The One Upper Show is brought to you by Trailblazing Canvassers and the Burning Sage Productions.